Hello, everybody.
So, Dark's not here. He doesn't feel well.
Ow.
Yeah, I saw that.
And for my viewers,
But
I am
other than that, how's everybody doing tonight?
pretty good.
In an incredible pain.
Oh, what happened?
I took a little trip earlier, and lost a good chunk of flesh from my knee.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was it was really bad. It hurts really bad too. So if I seem a little
Cranky?
yeah, that's probably why.
Okay. For my viewers, I am playing Arknights because an event just started today.
I am playing Pokemon Arceus because I'm too lazy to actually make a Pokemon video, and I need some background footage for the voiceover.
Ah.
Now here's the problem. I'm trying to remember how to play Pokemon Arceus. I'm so used to Elden Ring controls.
Mm. Yeah, so, for Arknights players out there...
I'm gonna have to restart Discord real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, for Arknights players out there, you will see that I am not good at this game. I've just been coasting by on good gacha luck.
I feel like an idiot playing this when I was actually really good at it a month ago. Like, I keep trying to hit B to run, and I have to remember, it's push the stick in to run on this.
Welcome back, Nate.
Yes, hopefully. It's
Yeah, you're here.
just
Is everything...
Yep.
not my internet.
So I think there's something fun to talk about today.
Is there?
We wanted to talk about last week, but we forgot.
I've already forgotten.
How Elon Musk controlling, trying to take over Twitter.
And he... I don't know if it went anywhere because I haven't looked at Twitter since the... since earlier today. He made basically a $43 billion offer to just buy Twitter.
And you want to know the best part now?
Did the board decide yes?
They're going into a meeting next week over it.
Oh, I thought that they were going into a meeting today. That's okay.
I think it got... No, it's like everybody in the company meeting kind of thing.
Ah, okay.
All I know is Elon Musk is no longer the biggest shareholder. Vanguard bought more, basically did a little insider trading.
Who?
Vanguard, it's our company.
Okay.
I'm just concerned about why companies that work for the government have such a stranglehold over what is supposed to be a public space to talk.
Yeah. I really hope this goes through.
So do I. I mean, I'm looking at it as a chaotic thing, personally. Because I want to see the meltdowns.
That will be funny, but also, like, I just want Twitter to be good again.
Free speech. It will be a huge win for free speech because Elon is a huge advocate for it. I mean, the current CEO of Twitter is an Indian man who doesn't believe in free speech.
I mean, the fact that he's Indian probably doesn't have much to do with it, but...
They don't have free speech in India. That's why I brought it up.
Okay.
They don't have the same kind of free speech we do, or they can be arrested for saying certain things.
Okay.
Like Canada.
Gotcha.
I do know that Elon got fined by the SEC for manipulating the stock market.
Oh, recently or before?
Just recently.
Like a fine.
$375,000.
Like that matters to him.
He got fined.
Drop in the bucket.
Yeah, exactly. I saw somebody do the math, and that is, less value to him than the average person buying a small fry at McDonald's.
Like that's a drop in the bucket. I mean, he literally is willing to drop in cash over $40 million. $40 billion.
Because he made an offer of $41.3 billion to buy the rest of Twitter after using $2 billion to buy 9% of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
some of the best
doing the math, he's paying I want to say twice as much as he would just buying things at the same price that he bought the shares.
Mm-hmm.
So that is they can seriously consider doing this if they just want the profit.
Yeah, and Twitter has been bleeding money. If they don't take it, they're what's the word I'm looking for?
God, Twitter's value just tanked when the new CEO came in.
Mm-hmm. And if the board doesn't actually take the offer, which is I think multitudes more than Twitter's actually worth.
Yes.
They'd be screwing over their shareholders, which the shareholders could, I think, sue against Twitter because of that.
Oh my god.
So basically...
Wait, if they decide not to do that, can Elon Musk technically sue them?
Yes. And this is why I'm saying, and there's no easy way to put this, Elon Musk has him by the balls.
Yeah.
There's no clean way to say that one. He has them by the gonads.
Yeah. And I'm here for every second of it.
Elon's walking away with money.
I'm here for every second of it.
Oh yeah, I've been loving it. Is that an Alpha Magikarp? Huh. Neat. What the fuck was that?
That was on someone else's end.
That was on my end.
Not mine.
I just don't know what it was.
Oh.
Angry fish. Ow, my knee.
So, a friend of mine got me a new game.
No?
Yeah?
13 Sentinel.
I don't know what that is.
And so it's a game published by Atlas. It's basically a visual novel with a small RTS inside of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And the visual novel part so far, I'm not even technically past the tutorial yet, and I'm like, oh, this game is special.
I think that's cool though. I love when visual novels try to mix things up with minigames inside of it. Or have a mix of things like that.
Yeah.
It breaks up the whole visual novel aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I never knew Atlas made visual novels. That's awesome.
So it's published, not developed by Atlas.
Oh, okay.
It is developed by a company I think called Vanillaware.
Not familiar.
The friend who got it for me said that Vanillaware has never made a game that sold more than 1 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they've made really good games, just none of them have sold very well.
Right.
They didn't blow up. Sad.
Yeah.
Well, if Alice is pushing it out there, that means it's their stamp of approval, which means it has to be good.
But yeah, so to summarize 13 Sentinels as well as I can, it's basically just mechas and time travel. And there's something very special about this game.
Special in a good way or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
Well, Mecha RTS sounds awesome, and I might have to look at it. System, computer?
So it just got released for Switch.
Oh, cool.
And previously it was PS4 exclusive, PS5 exclusive, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Maybe both.
It's nice to see games losing their exclusivity over time.
Exclusivity is such a stupid concept. It's very consumer unfriendly.
It just encourages pirating.
Yep.
Yep. My only thing though is without exclusivity, why would you buy one console over another?
Preference over controls, modding in the case of one of them.
Well, yeah, PC versus console, but I mean...
No, I mean,
Xbox has mods.
Yeah, Xbox has a modding community, so...
Like, all Skyrim, Fallout, some other games, I think it's farm simulators, they all have mods available on it. And Minecraft has something like mods available from all their systems, actually.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I understand from a company perspective that exclusivity drives sales of certain consoles, but at the same time, exclusivity is such a consumer unfriendly concept.
Yeah.
Because if I have generic game console, then I don't want to have to spend $300 or more to get a standard system that I am only going to use to play one game.
Exactly. And like, the funny thing is, I can say this with Sony, because as an Xbox owner, I don't get to play the Sony exclusives. All the Sony exclusives are being put on Steam all of a sudden, so I don't lose out anyways.
Nice.
Like all the God of Wars are now on PC, which is very strange to think about. I mean, the only one I don't see that ever happening with is Nintendo. Because
Nintendo is very first party.
Yeah. Like, as much as I would love to play Pokemon on the PC, or the Xbox, or whatever, I know it will never happen outside of fan games.
Yeah.
Like it's wishful thinking.
Yeah. They're just unfortunate.
Anything else interesting happen in the world that we could easily exploit for hours?
I don't think so. Not in the larger world, at least.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if it's something I should talk about, but I can talk about it because it's not really linked to the channel.
Yeah.
So, I've sort of, and this is me kind of blowing it out of proportion by the words I'm going to use, but I kind of infiltrated the leaker community.
Out
of curiosity, mostly. You knew how I sort of became friends with the Riddler, just within the Scarlet and Violet season.
I was not aware of that.
I kind of made friends with the Riddler. He's
Nice.
He's a strange one, but I'm not going to complain. He's just a Pokemon fan who just happens to have someone who provides him with some extra knowledge.
Ah.
Now, by being nice and friendly, I actually got to know more about the information, and there's an entire crazy community involved in all this. And I was able to read the sources without the riddles. Like the stuff he gets and turns into riddles. If it's true, I think I know what the legendary Pokemon are.
I honestly like your idea that you posited in that one video about it being like a bull and a lion, because those are like actually both used in gladiatorial entertainment.
Oh, I hope you're not too invested in that idea.
Okay.
They're not.
Okay.
Unfortunately. But the theming, from what I'm understanding, the theme is actually on point. You got the theme correct.
Fucking hell.
Tradition versus,
sorry, I'm just like complaining at Arknights right now because it's reusing a mechanic from a previous event that I didn't really like that much.
Oh. But you got the theme spot on.
Nice.
The past versus present kind of thing. Ingenuity.
Well, you keep misquoting me on that.
I know.
Tradition versus progression.
Basically that. It's basically that. And if what I'm reading and kind of working and reading,
what? Fucking...
the new gimmick is odd. You're not gonna like it.
I'm sorry. Repeat that because I was reading mechanics.
The new gimmick.
Uh,
You're not gonna like it if what I've been reading is accurate.
It really depends on how it's implemented, so it's like, meh.
I don't even know how to begin describing it. It's like... the way I've read it described as from the source that the Riddler gets his stuff from, it's like the Final Fantasy job switches, which I didn't understand and a friend had to explain to me.
And here I am like, oh.
Well, then, if you can, please explain it to people who don't understand.
Well, so Final Fantasy job switches basically, so characters are not tied to their class. You can switch the classes of any character, and different classes have different things that they can give the character. And you progress the classes separately from the character, and usually there's some sort of progression between the classes, like getting so far in one class can unlock another class, stuff like that, and it's a really fun time for me.
Now, how would you think that would translate to Pokemon?
I have no idea, but I would love it.
Okay, see, that's all I have for that. People are just have theories, and some say yes to the theory, some say no. It's the Pokemon's able to change its typing just for the battle, and it's sort of like Mega Evolution. Supposedly. This is all two things I don't trust, and that's why I've never made a video on it. But it's worth talking about, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if it's coming from people
my only thing is... I mean, I just want to say I don't think it'll work too well in the sense of a multiplayer competitive format.
I don't either.
But, like, from a single-player perspective, I think, ooh, that's a neat idea, you know?
Yeah. Like, I've only ever played Final Fantasy 15, so I don't... There's not even classes in that one. I guess. It's all anime bullshit.
So, yeah, the Final Fantasies with classes, I believe, are 2, 5... Anything else? I mean, of course, 14.
That's
but
like
14 is an MMO, so and it works differently from the rest. And I think it's basically just 2 and 5, as well as like tactics and some of the other spin-offs.
Kadaki. Like, this is something I can't comment on because I don't understand it.
But if you do want to try out what Final Fantasy classes are like, Final Fantasy V would probably be your best bet.
Kadaki. I've never, like I said, my first and only Final Fantasy I ever played was 15. They just seemed to be, I had never finished it either. It was just too big, if that makes sense to say. I was overwhelmed by everything to do. And like, I love open world games, but that was massive. And not very user friendly. Especially new user friendly. And I guess no, starters weren't talked about. I'm trying to think. What else did I get to basically overhear or overread, I should say. Like, that was the big things. The legendary Pokemon, which I didn't talk about because I don't know if I should kind of spoil it. One's a typing we've already seen for our legendary Pokemon, so that's why I'm not fully 100% believing it yet until I see it.
I mean, they've reused typings all the time.
Yeah, but another electric dragon? It's very specific.
I don't know. It's been a while since we've had that.
I mean,
that's true.
Is it one of the mascot legendaries?
Yes.
Then that would fit for the, mascot of... Let's see, which one was the one for progression? Was that Scarlet or
Violet?
Violet.
Okay. Yeah,
and
so that would probably
electricity.
be...
That would be cool. I can see it. Depending on how it's done, like, there was no descriptions for these Pokemon, just the typings.
I will say we're running out of unique types, even for mascots. When you want to get across the idea of something powerful and legendary and worthy of being a box legendary.
That's always going to land on Dragon.
And on Dragon, or Psychic, or Flying.
Yeah. So, just basically a giant winged creature.
Yeah, basically. Something that inspires awe, something that looks majestic. Like, we've had plenty of Dragon-type mascots. We've had plenty of Flying-type mascots.
And Psychic.
Yep.
Only one fighting type. This is should I just say what the other legendary Pokemon typing may be?
Sure.
Dragon fighting.
That's interesting.
I mean, Como is the only one, so.
Yeah.
I'm not. And electric against fighting. That's the interesting combination.
This event stage's description is, watch out, they run fast and go boom, and I don't know how to take that.
I can take that two different places.
Like a suicide bomber?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I
mean, it's a tower defense game, and suicide bomber type things are fairly common in tower defense games.
We haven't really had many of them in Arknights, though.
That description makes me think of the kamikazes from Serious Sam. Just literally suicide bombers. Scream. Oh, and there was some mention of the third legendary, but not much. Just that it has something to do with the opposite in Necrozma.
Let's show them what we can do.
A void. Like a void.
Interesting.
If that's not true, I want that idea as something. Like, I like the idea of a void Pokemon. A Pokemon that just consumes the light and doesn't reflect it, like Necrozma does. Guess that would be a black hole. Yeah, but that's kind of what my lurking habits have been with that. And I'm not reporting on, and I'm not going to like make videos on any of it because I don't trust the information just yet.
Right.
I will know on the 29th of April, though, supposedly. For some reason, everyone seems to gravitate towards April 29th as the next trailer. I don't know why. That one baffles me. Really should do something exciting in this. Instead of just flying around a region.
Yeah. I need to get back to playing Arceus.
It feels so awkward to play after playing Elden Ring for a month straight, almost. I had two mass outbreaks.
Ah.
I don't know which. I'm going to go to the one that might give me a chance to give me a shiny Spiritomb.
Nice.
I would love one.
This doesn't have spoilers. Well, not a screenshot even, because I don't feel like going through the hassle of doing stuff on the Switch with screenshots.
Yeah, that is a pain.
Like,
You have to scan the QR code for that.
Yeah. But, like, look at the art style of this. Well, once it uploads. Fuck. I will reduce the file size real quick.
Skaroopy. Skaroopy might worth be going after.
That was an interesting way to phrase that. What's a good
About going after Skaroopy?
Yeah.
My brain works funny sometimes. Just try to decide what to go after, and it's like there's a grotto one. Like the ones I would like to go after. There's like nothing too fancy. But I would love a shiny Skaroopy. I still need to add a compass to this game. That's my only complaint. A Skyrim style compass.
So I'm focusing on this.
That's fine. I'm trying to figure out how to fly again. This is fucking stupid.
Oh god, that's what they meant. Okay.
I'm all stocked up.
What's that?
Alright, so what else can we talk about?
I have no idea.
Oh jeez. That was interesting.
There we go, that finally uploaded. Look at the art style of this game.
Oh. I'll check in a second. I'll housebreaking those with drop downs now.
Neat. Sorry, this stage got very stressful all of a sudden. Oh, and that's that thing.
Please just stay in the ball. Oh, thank God. That was nerve-wracking. Oh, that's cool looking.
Right?
You know, it is stylized, like in a cool way.
Yes.
I like the back.
And the character designs are just solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at the guy that's talking there. That his face. I love his facial expressions so much.
Mm-hmm.
I actually lost that stage because that was interesting. Okay, so what I need are defenders. Alright, so... God, I just do not have anything to talk about right now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
And I cannot talk about 13 Sentinels because I've already gotten to the point where saying anything about it is spoilers. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe don't need Chen, but whatever, I can work with it. Oh, I need more defenders. Yeah, this stage suddenly was difficulty jump, which is interesting.
So do the events normally do that?
Only towards like the end, and even then, like there's usually more stages than this event has, so you get more of a gradual build up to the hard stages, which are usually either 7 and 8 or 8 and 9, because not all events have 9 stages. They usually have 8.
Ah, gotcha.
Thankfully, I think I only need to finish the stage twice, once on normal and once on challenge mode, because this is one of those events where you can farm the currency basically anywhere.
Oh, that's good. Do you think they're making it a little harder to drum up currency? Or drum up coining, rather?
What?
It's the end of the first quarter. They might be trying to make a quick buck with a hard event.
Oh, no. Their quick buck is coming in a couple of weeks because we're due for a major event.
Oh.
This is a small event.
Oh, so I take it Arknights has a lot of events then.
Yeah, so, how do I describe this? So, the game's main thing is going on in China. And China gets their events about 6 months before Global does. So we know what's coming. But also, like, we're supposedly on something called accelerated schedule, which is like we're getting events faster than China does, but we're still a few months behind. And events usually run for 2 weeks, and there's either 1 week between them or 2 weeks, and that's what we refer to as dead weeks, because Arknights is all about the farming for events so that you can get special units that come out during those events, etc., etc. Right now, we're in the event that's right before what was, I think, the mid-year anniversary event for China, which means that we're getting a major unit, we're getting a limited unit, and like I think that this is going to be the actual anniversary for global, because China versus global, mid-year anniversary for one is the actual anniversary for the other. Also, someone is DMing me.
Does everybody remember that one? Has everyone seen Detective Pikachu?
I have not.
Okay, would it be spoilers if I talk about something?
I wouldn't know.
Okay, there's a scene with gigantic Torterra. This is my current...
One of the coolest scenes.
Oh yeah. I am just surrounded by Alpha Torterra right now, and it's terrifying.
Oh. Nice.
It's not fun. But if this one stays in the ball, I managed to catch them all. Ah, thank God. That was terrifying. They were all high 80, so I wouldn't have been able to Arceus my way out of it. No, it's kind of sad how fast Arceus, the game, kind of like died out.
I wouldn't say that it died out. We're just kind of waiting on Scarlet and Violet.
Well, yeah, but like, it was the big hot game for a long time there, and it's just not as popular. Like all the big Pokemon streams on like Twitch and shit are playing other games. They say they're playing Arceus Legends, but they're actually like playing like fan games.
Well, that's because like fan games don't have their own Twitch category. Everyone does that. Everyone does that.
Well, they should just have a general Pokemon section then. Twitch sucks, anyways. I'm not a fan. I'm really not. I'm just Twitch
versus YouTube. Okay, Twitch versus YouTube. YouTube has better playback, but Twitch has better chat moderation.
But Twitch gets a little too heavy with the moderation.
I'm not talking...
shit! Shiny!
Nice. I'm not talking about normal Twitch mods. I'm talking about chat mods.
Right.
Or rather, the tools that they give chat mods to do their job.
Yes.
I gotcha. I'm not ultra familiar with that stuff. I streamed for what? A month? I don't know why I always have the same reaction to a shiny, even though I've had so many shiny encounters. Female shiny Honchkrow.
Nice.
It's a good shiny.
Yeah.
Like, not all Pokemon look good in that bright pink. Honchkrow kind of does. So I finished another redraw of my old Pokemon this week.
Oh.
Ooh.
Tentacool. Deep Sea Tentacool. I completely changed the design of it too, from what I originally had.
Right.
I'll send the original. It didn't even look like Tentacool after. That's the original. Tentacool and Tentacruel.
Nice.
I mean, I like it a lot. It was my favorite. The Tentacruel, rather. Where is my fake Pokemon? There we go. I really, really love the Deep Sea Tentacruel. I mean, Tentacool. The blue is shiny.
Ooh, that does look nice.
Thank you. I did the thing you told me with
it.
the bat scene, the back behind the body, or what? And I tried to do like a
really cool.
Thank you. And I tried to do like a sunken eye cavity thing because deep sea tentacle are supposed to be blind.
You could have just not given them eyes.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to have like it used to have eyes kind of thing, but it evolved over time not to have them anymore. It's just like flesh that's now like a sensor. Like, I tried to keep the original design's inspiration, but completely change it.
Right,
The deep sea tentacles mostly staying the same, except it's you'll see probably next week.
All right.
It's I've changed its hands completely to give it actual. I want to say like drill. I mean, it's a drill. It's obviously I made them into drills.
Yeah.
And I gave them like a thing to like flamethrower around it. It looks good. I don't know how to describe it. I basically kept the shape, but kept it more in line with what tentacle actually looks like.
Yeah.
Because it is a regional form still. I still kept only 6 tentacles though. Because the deeper you go with jellyfish, the less tentacles they seem to have.
Oh boy, there's one more stage. Also, I'm just gonna take a break from Arknights for a minute and then pull up the stage map. But like now that I'm not panicking over the earlier stages mechanics, my computer gave me a scare earlier today.
Oh no, what happened?
I saw that.
Yeah, so basically, where do I start with this? I was watching a Picaspi stream, and he was shiny hunting Palkia, so I just kind of left the stream up and took a nap, and I woke up to Windows error noises and a sudden stopping of noise. So I look at the computer and it's turned off. Hitting the power button won't turn it back on. I assumed that it was just, okay, it's probably doing that update thing that it told me about yesterday. And I noticed that one of the lights was flashing. I looked at the light and it was the battery light. So like I figured, okay, it somehow ran out of battery, probably ran out of battery during an update, which is why it made that noise. I reaffirmed the charger plug because it's a fairly, like, I wouldn't say loose plug, but it comes out of its socket easily, and I dropped my phone last night and it hit the power strip, so that probably just knocked it loose. But like it was kind of terrifying in the moment because like my external speakers were still plugged into the computer, and when I noticed that it was the battery, and I just kind of let it sit there for a minute and then turned it back on after reaffirming the charger, I got up to go to the bathroom, and when I'm in the bathroom, I suddenly hear this like buzzing noise coming from the speaker, which is the noise that it makes when it's turned on, but I'm trying to disconnect it because it doesn't like that very much. So I don't know if that's just a thing that it does when the computer isn't on.
It's strange.
But yeah, it took about like 15 minutes for everything to get back up and running, and it was like the most terrifying 15 minutes of my life.
Well, I could imagine. That's and what you described, I would have thought something happened inside the computer.
Yeah, so what I thought immediately happened was that it somehow blue screened during an update, which is, I guess, why it would have had the Windows error noises. But also, like, I could have just imagined the Windows error noises, or it could have been something from the stream, and I my half asleep brain misinterpreted it, and the sudden stopping of noise is what woke me up, because that can happen as well. My current theory is that the computer noticed that I had gone AFK, and tried to update, which I hate it when it does that, but whatever. But it tried to update, and then it ran out of battery partway through the updates, and that caused it to error and freak out, and then before the error could actually do anything, the computer turned off because it was out of battery. Everything's fine now.
Does the computer give Windows crash sound when it's
I wouldn't know because I've never had a crash on this computer. This is the one that I got from Wim.
Oh, I'm glad it's all back up and running.
Yeah, everything's fine now. It turned on. Okay, so before I went to the bathroom, it got to like the login screen, and I just kind of logged in and went to the bathroom then, and I noticed that the battery icon was basically empty. So that just confirmed my thought that it ran out of battery at some point. But when I went to the bathroom, then it started doing that droning noise, and I don't know why it did that.
Yeah, that's strange.
And like, I was DMing Wim on my phone like the entire time, and like she's been online since and hasn't replied, probably because I gave her a crisis averted message. But I can only imagine what she was thinking when she like got on her phone and saw a barrage of DMs from me, freaking out because the computer ran out of battery.
I would have freaked out too if I had something like that happen to me.
Yeah.
I'd freak out if my computer's taking a little too long to shut down or start up.
Yeah.
Alright, now time to go for, I think, what is the last stage of this event?
Personally, Nintendo having a different controller layout than Xbox. I have to look down at the controller every time I want to do something now.
I like it when games have the button's position as well as the button's label. That's really nice.
You mean like on-screen prompts?
Yeah, like, if you played Breath of the Wild, remember how, like, if you had to press the A button, it would show all 4 face buttons and highlight the one on the right.
That's convenient. I would love that. I've never played Breath of the Wild. I know.
I have complicated feelings about it.
I get a lot of shit for not playing many Zelda games.
It is a very good tech demo.
That's a backwards compliment. Or backhanded compliment, rather.
Yeah. As a game, it's not... Like... It's not that great as a game, but like as a tech demo going, making you go, oh, this is a cool concept they're doing. It's great, but...
Kind of similar to Arceus, except Arceus actually was a good game too. or our Pokemon fans that starve for a really good game that we say anything is good when it's mediocre.
Yeah.
That's the real question.
Like, as an experience, I would still give Breath of the Wild probably like a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not one of those people who are like, oh my god, Breath of the Wild is the best game ever made, 11 out of 10, like everybody seems to be. And it's like...
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't go that far.
Like I said, I never I've never played it. I probably never will because I don't know. It looks good, but I'm not a fan of the Zelda games, I guess. That's the way I can say it.
It plays more like an Elder Scrolls game than it does a Zelda game.
Oh.
In terms of like game structure, it's not like a Zelda game at all.
Oh, I mean, I probably would enjoy it, but I'm not invested in Link or Zelda or Ganon. Like, that's the reason why I don't know how to go about saying what I'm saying. Like, take Kirby, for example. That's something I would always hop back into because Kirby was one of my childhood games. Zelda wasn't. And it's like, I'm not going to give in to like the zeitgeist kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really play Zelda games until I was a teenager, so...
I remember wanting to play it when I was little. I never could find one for the Game Boy because that's all I had when I was little. Game Boy Color. And by the time I was able to actually find them, I just didn't care and was more into different kind of games. Oh, it's expensive to make these.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment. That's coming from someone who actually had the pleasure of starting with Link's Awakening.
I will say they do look like good games. I will say that. I won't give it. I'll give it the credit that it deserves. It's not something for me.
Fair.
Ah, phew, I thought I had to go buy more apricorns. You know, playing this again, and when we've talked about things we'd like to see in modern, like in Scarlet and Violet, I'm not sure if I want the crafting back. Like, I'm thinking, I mean, no, see, the thing is, it adds something to it, but I can't see it being used in modern Pokemon game.
Yeah. I think that since Minecraft, crafting has been overused in video games.
I 100% agree.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good crafting system, but not every game needs a crafting system.
Exactly. And when they're shoehorned in, it's very, very obvious. Like, you can blame Skyrim for a lot of that too, because a lot of games after Skyrim's success tried to copy what Skyrim did.
Yeah.
And in a way, Skyrim's also has that crafting system, but Elder Scrolls always had that.
Yeah.
But it's Minecraft.
Elder Scrolls seems to want to remove the crafting systems gradually as each game comes out.
I would cry because I love the smithing. That's like one of my big things I love.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it feels like every Elder Scrolls game has fewer crafting mechanics.
Yeah.
That's true. And like, going from what I've seen in Oblivion, what you can craft in Oblivion versus what you can craft in Skyrim, less weapons.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who, like, all my mods mostly are just weapon mods. I like that, the freedom to pick any kind of weapon I want.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I want to use a spear, sometimes I want to use a scythe, even though scythes are terrible weapons. They look cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm playing a Necromancer, I want a Scythe.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you mean with spears, though, because, like, I am a sucker for polearms. I see polearms in an RPG, and I'm like, yes.
Give me a halberd or a poleaxe any day.
Yeah, then the polearms always suck because everybody likes swords better, even the devs, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I hate that they make polearms so slow. Like, I feel like they're always made slow so people gravitate towards certain things.
Yeah.
I'd always choose... Like I could use the Diablo, for example, Diablo 2. Some of the best weapons are polearms, but they're so slow to use, they're worthless to try anything with. Like, sure, I can do 1,000 damage per hit, but when I'm hitting every other minute, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Also, like, the concept of dual wielding annoys me.
It depends on the build and the weapon.
It doesn't, like, from an actual, like, how you would utilize it as a person, it doesn't work like it does in RPGs and stuff.
The only one I say I can see easy to use would be dual wielding daggers.
Yeah.
But even then, one's to block, one's to attack, so it's basically just sword and shield anyways.
Yeah, and you know, in a historical context, real life, the only time you really ever saw dual wielding was some duelists would have a dagger in their offhand and the sword in their main hand, and that's as much as you got in real life.
Yeah.
And wasn't it frowned upon too? Like looked out like a scoundrel kind of thing?
Not even that. It was why would you do that type thing throughout history?
Yeah, because a shield would be better. A shield would be a lot better. I mean, I guess you could argue it's the mobility versus tankiness kind of thing. Like, I only have to hit you once, Dex nerd kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm reminded of... Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I haven't.
I know Giga and Alien have, and I know they've seen this part because it's like in Season 2. But when Bronn fights what's her face's champion in the city in the clouds area. Fuck, the names of those characters have already slipped my mind. Robin's mother. That's all I remember her as. Lisa Tully?
Something like that.
Yeah, Bronn was able to kill her champion. He was just armed with two daggers and barely leather armor.
Yeah.
And the knight was full plate. So it is speed versus things like that.
As long as you don't just, like, start taunting your opponent when they're apparently dying.
And wear a helmet, for fuck's sake.
Yes. Wear a fucking helmet.
Oh, that's one thing Game of Thrones has taught me, is wear a helmet. I don't care how badass you look. The helmet's important. Oh, the hubris of Oberyn.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Run around, Gallade. And Alpha. Oh, Jesus. You know, I gotta say, with the metallic ring around Arceus' body, they did a good job making it actually look like metal.
Nice.
And that's something I will say is very hard to do, is making things look like metal.
Yeah. Or
For some
I feel
reason,
like I'm good at it.
It never really registered. Like, I just assumed it wasn't metal before.
Because in the old art, it looks like a maybe bone or some kind of it's ornamental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Legends Arceus,
I just thought it was like vague, deity, material,
kind of Yeah.
Well, not even that. Just like it doesn't matter what it's made of because a god made it.
Yeah.
That's how I've always
God's
interpreted it.
I still say there needs to be one more counterpart to Arceus.
Why?
You have an Alpha, we need an Omega. Pokemon of the end.
Technically that would be
it is both.
Giratina and it is already both. But
yeah, because like
you could also argue Giratina, but
I wouldn't.
I would.
I know because it's closer related to the other. But
like people keep saying that Giratina is the devil, and like aside from the fact that it has a few sixes on its body, it really isn't. Because while
it's also the renegade that rebelled against its father.
There is nothing that said that it rebelled.
Finish playing Legends.
But like my point is that the entire quartet is based on a lot of different myths and stuff, but it's mostly based in Eastern myth, and like they're mostly Shinto gods with a little bit of Western religion in there, but also like I will maintain I also just don't care what Legends says. Giratina is not the fucking devil.
I wouldn't say
I don't even think that.
I would say it's an easy stand-in for it.
It's a good stand-in for the Western audience, but you need to remember that Johto and Sinnoh were the two most Japanese of the Japanese regions. And I don't think that there is a Satan equivalent in Shinto myth.
Not to my knowledge. I'd have to...
But also, Pokemon kind of contradicts itself with Giratina all the fucking time.
Yeah, it does.
Because, really even does. Cynthia in the Sinjo Ruins event says that Giratina represents antimatter, and no, the fuck it doesn't.
I hate that so much.
It's like if it was antimatter, then it would explode upon entering our world, and we would explode upon entering its world. What it is gravity. Exactly,
and if you look at other two, space-time, what the fuck does antimatter have to do with space and time? It's not a force.
But gravity can affect space and time.
Exactly.
And
Giratina...
the reason it was sealed away in the Distortion world isn't because it was violent. It's because in the beginning, when it couldn't control its powers, life just couldn't form because gravity wouldn't let life form. And it got sent to the Distortion world so that it could get control of itself.
And then Legends rewrote that canon.
Well, Legends is a spin-off, so who cares?
Its original Pokedex, it says it was banished for its violent acts, so...
Okay, but also, that was written in universe. Yeah. The person who wrote that likely just assumed.
But you're trying to interpret a headcanon as actual canon.
What I'm saying is that actual canon doesn't make sense.
Does anything in Pokemon make sense?
Yes.
Okay, my car goes as hot as the surface of the sun.
Like Loxley did a video on that and said, and like kind of revealed how that's not really that big a deal, but I would have to rewatch the video to remember what his reasoning was. I think it's like the internal temperature is not what the world is interacting with, and something like that.
Or I'll just chalk it up to the professors of the region are letting children write the Pokedex entries, and the kids don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't think that's true for every region.
500
No, it's
IQ.
not. It's a joke.
Wait, no,
it's just
or is it
an
5,000 IQ? What
That's
was
just always been.
Alexander's IQ?
I don't know.
500 or 5,000?
5,000.
I thought it was 10,000.
I don't know.
Has it changed with each Pokedex entry?
My point is that everything in like the Pokedex and stuff is written by a person who could be wrong, because people can be wrong. It's not like the person who writes the Pokedex is magically aware of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't want to, like, spoil the ending of the game. But when the whole Arceus Giratina thing's being explained in Legends, it's like if Giratina had a good conversation with Volo.
I will also say that, like, Legends is a spin-off, and spin-offs kind of tweak canon all the time.
I would say it's more than a spin-off.
It's a spin-off.
It's a spin-off gameplay-wise.
It's a spin-off.
I don't know. It's like the term spin-off is so...
It is not mainline, it is a spin-off. It is a spin-off in the same sense that Let's Go is a spin-off and the Ore games are spin-offs. They can interface with things that connect to the main games. In this case, like Legends will be able to interface with Home. But that doesn't mean that it's a mainline game. There are plenty of spin-offs that are excellent games. I'm looking at you, PMD. And there are plenty of spin-offs that can interface with the main games. I'm looking at you, Pokemon Ranger. Just because it's a good game doesn't mean it's not a spin-off.
Now, here's the question. What's canon and what's not canon?
I will say that canon is whatever the mainline games present to us. With the caveat that, yes, things that are explained to us from the perspective of a person or from the Pokedex can be wrong, because people aren't perfect.
I think this is one thing you and I might never agree on, because...
Probably.
I don't know, the more I guess it's going to depend on how... I don't know. Like, Legends is such a weird thing in Pokemon. Because the reason why I think Let's Go is no longer main series is because of how bad it did.
That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, they're still calling Legends main series, but look, Let's Go is no longer main series.
Okay, who is calling what main series?
I am back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Where are they calling? Where are they not calling Let's Go main series? Basically,
not talking about Let's Go period anymore.
That's because it's in the previous generation. It's an older game. It is now considered an older game. Of course, they're not talking about it anymore.
They talk about Sword and Shield all the damn time.
Because that is the most recent. Also, like, Sword and Shield is Gen 8, so that doesn't matter. Let's Go is Gen 7.
Fair. And
are they talking about X and Y anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Are they, though?
Oh, thanks to Serena being back in the anime, it's been back into popularity.
Okay, fair on Serena being in the anime. Are they talking about, I don't know, Pokemon Emerald?
Oh, everybody talks about Pokemon Emerald still.
But it's Game Freak talking about Pokemon Emerald.
Every time they mention Sinnoh, they do. Or, not Sinnoh.
Good job.
Every time Hoenn gets mentioned, those games are talked about because they were such a big thing for Pokemon.
Okay, but like aside from the off time that Hoenn gets mentioned, like my point is that they don't really talk about previous generations unless a remake is about to come out.
Red and Blue are talked about ad nauseum.
Because they're red and blue.
So is Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
What?
Gold and Silver's also talked about ad nauseum because of
you kind of
nostalgia.
can't count the first two gens because those are like just low-hanging fruit nostalgia bait.
Okay, Black and White's always talked about.
Is it? Because
Yeah.
from what I can tell, the Black and White is mostly talked about by the community, not by the actual developers and stuff.
Recently they mentioned it because of the events going on within Pokemon Masters.
Okay, but like
form change.
Okay, but that's because something else is going on with Unova and stuff. Like,
so it's a callback. It's still
Phoenix. Can you let me finish? Like, of course they're going to talk about the games of that region when that region is being brought up in the anime or some other spin-off or whatever. My point is that they're not talking about it extensively because it's no longer the current generation. And that's why they're not talking about Let's Go. It's not in the current generation.
Every time they talk about Kanto, Fire, Red, Leaf, Green get brought up. Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow are brought up, but Let's Go's left to the wayside.
I don't see Fire, Red, Leaf, Green getting brought up.
Yeah,
too
neither
much.
do I.
I saw it brought up a couple times.
A couple times. That doesn't mean anything.
More than Let's Go.
I doubt that. Or I don't doubt that you've seen Fire and Leaf Green be brought up more. I doubt that they're bringing it up more.
Well, it was mostly a callback to that, what are they called? What are they called? Savvy Islands?
Okay, but then that...
Sevi.
Yeah, Sevii Islands, but the Sevii Islands weren't in Let's Go, so why would they mention Let's Go when they're talking about the Sevii Islands?
Because I was talking about things featured in Kanto.
And what did Let's Go do that Red and Blue didn't?
Let Pokemon follow you.
Yeah, but that's more like a Johto thing. That's people associate that with Heart Gold and Soul Silver more than any other game. My point is, Let's Go is a spin-off, Arceus is a spin-off. It doesn't matter how well it's doing. Of course they're going to be talking about the big nostalgia games all the time. Of course they're probably going to be talking about the popular games more than the less popular ones. But that doesn't mean anything when it comes to something being a spin-off or not a spin-off.
I guess it just... Well, in the end of the day, they call it main series, though.
I don't care. They're marketing it as main series. That doesn't make it main series.
But that's what... Ew, I don't want to catch that.
Honestly, when we were just going with the back and forth of what Game Freak is and is not talking about, I just kind of realized, what the fuck are we even arguing about here?
I don't know. Like, even I won't call it main series because it doesn't have the gameplay of a main series.
Oh, is that Nate?
I can't call it...
Nate, you were saying something?
I don't know.
My point is, Legends is a spin-off, and spin-offs tweak the canon all the time to suit their stories and needs, and that's not a bad thing, but unless it's mentioned explicitly in a main series game, I consider it dubious canon.
You consider Platinum main series?
Platinum, yeah.
They mentioned about Giratina being a renegade Pokemon then, who rebelled and was sentenced to the research world for his...
No, they never mentioned rebelling.
Okay, then just going by off its Pokedex entry. Cyrus does mention it being sealed away into the distortion world for its violent actions.
Yes, but that's not rebelling. The violent actions are just because it is very clearly a gravity-based Pokemon, and while it's not canon, it is plausible that because it is gravity, it was sealed away so that it could not destroy everything with gravity before it could get a hold of itself.
But that doesn't show anywhere in actual canon.
No, but it's more plausible than it being the fucking devil.
But it fits as a devil more than
not really
Pokemon out there.
Not really.
Then I guess this brings us back to why we need an Omega Pokemon.
But Arceus is the Alpha and the Omega
Pokemon.
But
no, it's not the Omega because it's only the Alpha.
Okay, its classification is Alpha because they can't just put Alpha and Omega Pokemon in it. But like, because that's too long. But like, yes, Arceus is primarily a Shinto god, but like I was saying earlier, there are hints of Western mythology in Arceus, and like there is that whole line about I am the Alpha and the Omega. I think that's just what they were referring to with the Alpha classification thing.
Yeah, because Alpha being the first, and where am I going? I'm going here.
Also, let's be real, if they were going to make an Omega Pokemon, then it would be like the literal last Pokemon.
It should be.
Yep.
And I agree with
and
that. And
I don't think we're going to see that in our lifetimes.
Unless Pokemon decides to reboot itself. Which, they tried to.
They've already done that multiple times. Hard reboot doesn't really work with Pokemon. Soft reboot is... They've soft rebooted like 3 times now.
Has it been that many?
Yep. There was a soft reboot in Gen 3, there was a soft reboot in Gen 5, and there was a soft reboot in Gen 7.
So what you're saying is we're probably getting another one this
Probably.
gen.
Yeah.
I could see another Let's Go game coming, or something similar.
Yeah. But yeah, they probably are going to do a soft reboot in Gen 9.
What if it's Scarlet and Violet?
I mean, maybe, but it doesn't have to be because the soft reboot in Gen 7 was Let's Go.
Mm-hmm.
Because the storyline of the whole alchemy storyline type thing kind of ended in Ultra Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
But soft reboots don't necessarily have to be story, they can be mechanical, and like Gen 3's soft reboot was the fact that Pokemon from Gen 1 and 2 couldn't be transferred because the data was not compatible. The soft reboot in Gen 5 was, until the post-game, you could not use previous generation Pokemon. The soft reboot in Gen 7 was basically just us getting another Kanto remake, but also a storyline ended.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, Jesus.
What?
Spiritomb hit really hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to die. And considering how they're making a big deal with Scarlet and Violet being the first true open world Pokemon game, it kind of is like a reboot.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a gameplay soft reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be fair, like, it's not the first game in the Pokemon series to do that because, like, obviously we have Legends, which is basically just Pokemon Monster Hunter, but also, like, the wild area was them clearly testing that idea out.
Oh, yeah. And, like, as much as I hate to say it, Arceus is, in a way, a tech demo.
Yeah.
It was just a successful story-based tech demo.
Yeah, it's just like Let's Go was a tech demo for Gen 8. Like, they tend to do the whole tech demo thing in the previous generation. Even if it's, like, they've only started doing the console tech demos in Gen 7. But when it comes to, like, okay, how much can the system handle, they very clearly did that between Gens 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Because, in Diamond Pearl, you just had that classic, like, top-down view. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you started getting camera tweaks.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just used a bunch of those in Gen 5. Like,
oh yeah,
Heart Gold and Soul Silver was a tech demo for Gen 5.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
Now, that said, like, I don't think that there was really a whole lot of tech demo before that, unless you count Gold and Silver being a tech demo for Crystal.
Nah.
Because Crystal, or Gold and Silver could be played on either the original Game Boy or the Game Boy Color. Crystal could only be played on the Game Boy Color.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. It's like a bunch of, like, graphical data and stuff. Crystal is packed to the brim with content. So they just could not make that backwards compatible.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
And plus it was in color.
I mean, so was Gold and Silver, unless you played it on the original Game Boy.
Oh.
Because they were Game Boy Color games, but they were backwards compatible.
Right.
By the way, because of that, did you know that in Gold and Silver, I don't know if it's true in Crystal, you cannot run away from a shiny Pokemon?
No, I didn't know that.
Because
I didn't know that either.
Because in Gold and Silver, if you're playing on the original Game Boy, you're not going to be able to see that the Pokemon is a different color, so they don't want you accidentally running away from it.
Oh, so you have to either kill it or catch it.
Yes.
I would love to test that if I had an original Game Boy.
Well, I mean, you can test it out on emulator, because this is just something in Gold and Silver, not necessarily having to be, like, when you're playing on an original Game Boy. You cannot run from a shiny Pokemon in Gold and Silver.
Oh.
And honestly, I think that this is also the case with Crystal, because I remember looking up a Game Shark code to guarantee shiny encounters, and there was a note attached to it saying, this prevents you from running from wild battles.
And that couldn't have been maybe something fucky wucky with the.
It could have been. It could have been, but it also just lends credibility to the idea that Crystal was the same way.
Right. That's definitely a possibility.
Because, yeah, some Game Shark codes, or Action Replay codes, do some fucky things with, just the Pokemon in general, especially once it turned Pokemon shiny. Because in Gen 4, specifically for Diamond and Pearl, there was a make all Pokemon shiny thing that didn't actually make them shiny. It was just like they looked shiny, and this also applied to the opponent's Pokemon as well. But there was a note attached to it saying, do not breed these Pokemon. And I think that might have been because there is no shiny Egg Sprite.
Oh, that would have been a missing no then.
Yeah, possibly.
The question mark thing.
Yeah. I hate when people call it missing no.
It was also called.
No, Bad Egg is something completely different.
Oh, because I've had a couple bad eggs.
Yeah, so Bad Egg is a thing in Gen 3 more than Gen 4, but also I think it's present in Gen 4. But yeah, so what would have likely happened is that the game would either lock up because there's no sprite to load, or it would use the question mark thing. More likely the first. Bad Egg is what happens when a Pokemon's data is corrupted.
Oh.
There is, funny enough, like, I was just watching a video about a week and a half ago about this kind of thing. Nick Robinson did a video basically titled, "Can we save a corrupted Pokemon 15 years after its death?" And like the entire thing was that someone's Blastoise in Leaf Green got corrupted by Game Shark codes and turned into a bad egg. A bad egg is just how the game handles a Pokemon that it doesn't know what to do with because the data is corrupted.
See, the way I would get bad eggs is when I was using it on Game Shark, I would have a cheat basically that would let me catch the opponent's Pokemon.
Yep.
And that would result in a bad egg.
Okay, so I used that cheat in Pokemon Platinum to catch Cynthia's Garchomp, and it said that the bad egg was caught, but it ended up being the Garchomp when I looked at the PC.
When I had it happen, I was actually able to hatch the egg.
Never do that.
Yeah, I did it, and I remember my game getting really fucking weird.
Yeah, basically, bad eggs, throw them in the PC, and never touch them again. Preferably use a save editor to get rid of them.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that when I was younger.
Also, most bad eggs won't hatch, so...
I used the action replay to hatch it.
Oh.
Or not the action replay, the Game Shark.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, it was like a creepy pasta level of fucked up kind of stuff.
Yeah, I did kind of the same thing in Sapphire cartridge, and I think that Nate and Giga might even remember the occasional time that I would talk about how fucked up the Sapphire cart was.
Probably. I think I remember a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it does sound familiar.
Yeah, because
like, you have people with weird scrolling text that was like gibberish?
Yeah, that's a common Gen 3 thing.
Yeah.
That is a sign of a corrupted save, maybe even a corrupted cart.
For me, it was just a save because I was able to just scrub the data and restart.
Yeah, so like
and
Gen
the
3
sound the GBA games made when they froze.
Oh
Holy
god.
shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Nightmare fuel.
But Gen 3 has some very distinctive corruption side effects. Like scrolling text of gibberish, that god-awful crash noise, but that's just a GBA thing. Weird graphical things. Just like look up, I think there was a video of someone who put their GBA cart in the wash or something, and the game was still kind of playable, but it was so fucked up.
I guess I got lucky then. Oh, there's an I should go there.
So
I got
basically,
lucky.
When you start working with Game Shark codes and Action Replay codes and certain glitches in each generation, it kind of depends on what generation it is as far as what the glitch is. You start getting into the realm of arbitrary code execution, and that can be either really weird, really cool, or really, really bad.
And I guess 9 times out of 10 it's really bad.
It's... Okay, usually arbitrary code execution will just crash the game. If you're unlucky, especially in Gen 1, it will like reset the game and wipe your save. Because what's happening there is that there is an easy to accidentally access arbitrary code execution loadout where it seems to like write a function to wipe your save and then reset the game, which I think are just like right next to each other in the code or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched an explanation on it. And basically, especially in Gen 1, when you're playing around with a move called Super Glitch, it will it will suddenly restart the game because it crashed or whatever, and you will see only the new game and option things.
Huh. I know when I was playing Pearl, long time ago, I basically got, I guess would be called like a blue screen for the DS.
Yeah.
And it gave me the whole, your save file's corrupted, you have to delete everything and start over.
Yep, I remember that screen.
But I was able to just take it out, put it back in, and it was fine. After.
Yeah. It really depends on the generation and what exactly happened.
I won't be able to tell you what happened. I don't even know what happened.
I know. I'm more familiar with Gen 1 and Gen 3 glitching than Gens 2 and 4.
I just know how to manipulate Gen 1 to do crazy shit.
Yeah? Alright.
Missing No, Mew.
That stuff is incredibly tame for what Gen 1 can do.
Oh, I know.
Gen 1 is so broken that you can use a glitch in Red and Blue to credits warp in Mario.
Hold on, say that again? Like actual Mario?
Yeah, in one of the Mario games. I don't know Mario stuff. It's just whatever. I guess it's the first Mario game on the Game Boy. But basically, you can... the way that arbitrary code execution works is that you can have the game... you can have Red and Blue write its own... or start its own like function to hang the game for a few seconds and then execute... and then like warp to some data address, and when the game hangs, the trick is to swap the game card out, because, fun fact, when you do that, when you just normally take the game out of the Game Boy when the game is running, the Game Boy realizes, oh, there's no game in here. But the arbitrary code execution trick can make the Game Boy kind of like lock up for a few seconds, so it never realizes that. And when you put the Mario Kart in, then like it continues to execute the function that was written in Red and Blue, and you credits warp.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so look up. The channel is called the Zaz Glitch, who is just one of the best Gen 1 glitchers, especially for ACE. And I think the video is titled "Using Red and Blue Arbitrary Code Execution to Affect Other Games," or something like that. You should find it pretty easily.
Okay. That's something I would love to see happen. Fucking hell.
I just
fighting
want
Renal all over again.
Gigantic Pokemon tangent.
That's okay. This whole
fine.
Conversation devolved into Pokemon madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it always goes back to Pokemon anyway.
Yep.
Well, in a way, we are a Pokemon channel deep down in our hearts.
Yep.
Please stay on the ball. Thank you.
Also, like, this morning, I implemented an item in Sardonyx basically 80% by myself, and then, like, I got stuck, and Giga completed it, I think. But I'm actually kind of proud of how far I managed to get without help.
Nice.
Nice.
What is the item, if you can say on screen?
I am not going to say on screen.
Ah, it's something important then.
It's not important, it's more that I want players to have to figure out what the item does.
Ah, fun stuff.
Yeah, I'll explain it after we stop recording.
Okay.
So I need a minute to catch my breath after that huge explanation about Gen 1 glitching.
No problem.
You guys pick up the conversation.
Oh no.
So how about that sports ball game, guys?
I don't
It
sports.
was great.
I
Yeah, no.
can't even pretend for sports.
Listen, the only sport that I've ever been remotely invested in is NASCAR.
Oh.
My dad and I used to just watch it on TV every Sunday. He was a big fan of a few racers. I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. was one of them. I don't remember the other ones.
My dad watches NASCAR too. Why I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a fan of any sport.
I didn't really care about the racing itself. It was a bonding moment.
Right.
Like my dad watched fucking Digimon with me.
Oh, that's cute.
I like to the point where in quote unquote, I was gonna say like Gen 2 of Digimon, but Adventure 02, there were these Digivice toys, and we both got one.
Yeah.
And I remember that mine was green and his was black or blue, I think. Yeah, because like back then, like for some reason, I was obsessed with the color green, and I knew that his favorite color was blue. And yeah, we both got a Digivice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is.
And more clearly, I remember that he was watching Digimon with me when Frontier was airing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember what his opinions on it were. I just remember that he liked Digimon.
Digimon is good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Frontier gets too much hate.
Frontier had good music. And a really weird storyline. But it was kind of tame compared to some other Digimon.
Yeah. No, but people basically just hate it because, like, I don't like the people turning into Digimon, and, like, that's the only reason they hate it. It's like, come on.
I'm not a huge fan of that, but that's mostly because I don't really like human characters, usually. It's weird. It's not even the furry in me, it's just, like, I can't identify with these people, because... lo and behold, I'm autistic, and I have trouble empathizing, and relating, and connecting, and whatever other word you want to throw in there.
Guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better about it now, but when I was a kid, I just could not relate to human characters.
I want to be honest, sometimes I can understand that.
Yeah. It doesn't help that a lot of the times in fiction, characters don't really act like people do.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the time in fiction, what do you know? People act like plot devices more than anything.
Yep.
That is very true. Damn good way to put it. It's like sometimes in stories, this person only exists to push the story forward and no other reason exists outside of that.
There's also something that I noticed in role-playing specifically, where the characters talk in such a stilted way because, like, obviously the writer is good at writing and wants to, like, specify and enunciate clearly and all that stuff, and it just comes across as, guys, people don't talk like that.
Yeah, it's the whole proper English thing. People never talk like that.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a problem I have sometimes myself in writing. Or, my brain is going, write with good grammar.
I mean, yeah,
and
like,
then...
when I'm talking versus when I'm writing, my speaking style is completely different.
Same.
And, like, you can have a character write in a stilted way, that's fine, but not when they're actually speaking, because people don't talk like that.
No, they don't.
And this is actually something that we've had to like correct a little bit in Sardonyx as well, because both me and Giga do this as far as like the writing things out a little bit too clearly. Oh.
So you don't have to watch it now, but this is a video relevant to this topic. It's a really good video.
I'll watch that later. Yeah.
I will watch that later because I am getting ready to start a writing project soon.
Nice.
Like for some reason, like after I had COVID, like everything got put on hold art-wise.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I am getting the urge to paint again, to write again, and I think even I want to finish my Kraken and needle felting so I can make the Pokemon starters. I've been wanting to make them more than the Kraken. I have a bad habit of I won't move on to the new project until one's finished.
Right. Well, I just jumped from
in
project
that
to project.
style, like, huh?
I just jump from project to project.
Oh, see, that's what I do too, as long as they're not the same thing. Like, I won't move on to another needle felting project, but I will go to town woodworking.
I have so many unfinished sci files right now.
I have one unfinished sci file, and that's just DC Tentacruel. I want to try landscaping with sci. I want to put what I know about landscape painting to digital, see if it translates well.
I'm weird in that I like working on things, but the closer I get to like completing something, the less motivated I am to complete it.
Oh, I understand that. I've seen people go like that.
Because I'm someone who likes the process more so than the result, if that makes any sense.
Like, let me just screenshot my normal images folder where I store my work in progress sci files.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Hig.
Yeah, that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I just noticed that immediately and just it made me chuckle.
That's actually not just a button mash.
I'm sure it's just
It's HG, and I think that you guys might know what that stands for.
Miles and nods.
Okay. Then I'll just open the sci file and screenshot it for you.
Oh, okay. I'm not good with acronyms.
I'll probably like go, oh right, of course, but
Fucking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Hig.
Pig.
secret project no one
Good old
deserves to
pig.
know about. I ain't doing this one. Get out of here. Restart the game. Waste of 5 agave berries. It's sad. The only reason why I'm playing Arceus tonight instead of like either drawing or doing anything is because I was too lazy to make a video. Like, I was too lazy to make the slides for Saturday's video, which is about Pokemon and voice acting.
God,
Like, I don't know how to make slides for that.
let's please not have like actual voice acting in Pokemon. That is just going to be so jarring, and I don't want it.
I take a very nuanced stance on it, and like you already know where
Yeah.
like everyone on this podcast knows where I stand on it. It's like yes for certain things, no for everything else.
Like, let's not have Skyrim style voice
No.
acting, where literally
no,
everything is voiced.
No, I do not want to hear Little Timmy comment on his shorts. But I would love to hear a villainous monologue.
I mean, cutscene, cutscene voice acting would be neat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically what I end up.
Yeah,
saying
that's
on
as
is-
far as I would go.
Maybe.
It just
I
one
wouldn't
thing.
mind Zelda-style grunts for voice acting.
I don't
Oh, I wouldn't
mind.
mind that
Okay,
either.
I don't mind vocalizations. I don't want speech.
I want the main character to stay silent.
Because, like, when I say vocalization versus speech, I don't want entire sentences to be spoken out loud, but I don't mind what they were doing in Gen 5 with just, you can hear words in the background of a music track.
Right. And that's something that's always been a thing since Gen 5 onward.
Yeah. It was most notable in Gen 5, though.
It was the first time in Gen 5.
Yeah, but they also had more of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't the closing song for X and Y an actual song with lyrics?
It has lyrics, they're not sung. They're on screen.
Oh, I swore I heard them sung before.
There are covers of it.
It's just you.
There are covers of it. I have a cover of it.
That might be what I'm remembering.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
Like, one of the major things I point out is we go from peers, literally dead silence, just music playing in the background and him jamming out on stage. Cringe. Then we go fight Rose, and he has Latin lyrics for his music. It's just like, you could have done the same thing for my man Piers.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like, give us an actual rock song for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It would have been cute.
Yeah, I dropped the cover of the credits theme that I have whenever you want to listen to it.
Okay. It's probably the same one I've listened to.
Yeah, it's
remembering.
Sabrina Valenzuela is the cover artist.
The name is very familiar. That might be why I got confused.
Okay.
The name is very familiar. I might have watched that on YouTube before. Yeah, like my stance on it is I think there should be some voice acting, but not for everything. Limited voice acting. Like, there's only like two major, like the big cutscenes, like the professor introducing you to the world of Pokemon, basically booting up the game.
Yeah.
I could see that being voiced. That would be a nice little touch. Villainous monologue, like when Rose comes over the stadium screen and says, "Oh hey, I'm unleashing a giant space alien monster to give us energy for 1,000 years." That would have been good voiced instead of making me read it.
Yeah.
Like I know I shit on Sword and Shield a lot.
Sword and Shield was a good game.
It was fine. I wouldn't say good.
I had fun with it. That means it's good.
It had its issues. The Pokemon designs were top tier.
I had fun, which means it's good. That's all I care about.
I like the DLC more than the main game. I will say that. Except that, let me rephrase that. I had a great time in Crown Tundra compared to main game.
What, you didn't enjoy Kung Fu Mustard?
No, I did not enjoy that. No. I loved the location. I absolutely adored the Isle of Armor. But the story was a little cringy. Especially, What's-Her-Face and What's-His-Face. I don't remember the antagonists in that DLC. Top Hat Guy and really cringy yandere bitch.
What the fuck?
I don't remember her name. She had like a Dust Hawks ribbon in her hair that doesn't exist.
And I don't know because the manga hasn't gotten to that point yet.
I think she'll be a fun character for the manga, I can imagine. But I am... You know what? This is going off on a tangent to tie us back to our original conversations about legendary Pokemon. We need a cover legendary that's a bug.
We need, like...
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
We don't have any blood legendaries.
Genus X.
Genus X and Mythical.
I don't care, it's still a legendary.
And it's not a cover legendary.
Yeah. Okay,
Mythicals
it's not
are a subcategory of legendary as far as I'm concerned.
All mythicals are legendaries, not all legendaries are mythicals. This is the fucking dragon versus wyvern debate.
Yep.
Also,
yeah,
like, on that note, I hate when people say that just because it has the body plan of a wyvern, it's not a dragon. Why can't a dragon... why can't a wyvern be separate from a dragon, but also a dragon can have the body plan of a wyvern? What do you call an Eastern dragon, then, if your definition for dragon is 4 legs plus 2 wings?
Mm-hmm.
I hate this debate.
Like, my big thing is there are so many, like, dragon is such a broad term because there are so many different species of dragon.
You want to know my biggest pet peeve, which is also probably the most surprising, everything considered? I hate it when people call Kirins dragons.
They're not dragons. Who calls them dragons?
A lot of people.
A lot of idiots, then.
Because they are scaled, I guess, and they're mythical Chinese creatures.
I've only ever seen a Kirin with scales in one depiction of them.
Most Kirins have scales. Most Kirins in classical depictions have scales, and also they have horns. That is literally the only...
Definitely have horns. Yeah. That's the whole point. That's the whole telling point. They have the 3 horns.
1 or 3. Usually 1.
Oh, see, I've always seen them with 3.
That might be because of me. I draw my Kirins with 3 horns.
And like the Kirin in Age of Mythology had 3 horns as well.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it has the horn in the middle, it's probably a Kirin. But sometimes, not always, but sometimes they do have the 2 horns going back.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm trying to remember now. It's like, yeah, I've seen some definitely unicorn kind of style. Then I've seen some with the way you draw them, like with ear antlers and a unicorn horn. Do we have a Kirin Pokemon?
Technically, Arceus is a Kirin.
Fair enough.
But it's a Kirin in the same way that Tapu Fini is a dolphin. Which it's not.
Even when Tapu Fini closes up, it looks more like a swordfish to me.
Yeah.
And also, like, in terms of, like, what it does, even though its design isn't a Kirin at all, but Suicune has traits of a Kirin.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It also does kind of have the 1 horn, even though that's more of a crest.
Good. That is a good part. There could be a damn good argument if Suicune is a Kirin or not.
It's a leopard.
I mean,
see, I always thought that was
design-wise, it's not a Kirin, but in terms of mythology, what it does, stuff like that, functionally, it is.
Yes.
I always pictured Suicune as the dog of the legendary beasts.
It's not.
It's not.
It's a leopard.
It has such a dog face.
It's a leopard.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, look up Suicune again.
It is a leopard.
Why doesn't Pokemon Arceus have a Suicune in it?
Because why
Can
would...
we get regional forms of the legendary beast finally?
No.
I would love that.
I mean, we got the bird. I can see the beast getting them. That. Oh, okay. I can kind of see a leopard. It does have a feline face a bit.
Yeah. Also, like, Entei is a lion.
Mm-hmm.
And
Raiku's a tiger.
Yep.
I can kind of see leopard. I see both dog and cat in it. It has
well,
like
I mean,
that
okay,
whole...
so, like, they obviously have traits of a bunch of animals, but they're primarily feliform.
I 100% agree with Raikou and Entei. Suicune, I just see so many different things in it. My brain just sees Suicune in the end.
I mean, that is the point.
Is Suicune considered the leader of the trio?
No.
Entei is, right?
No.
There is no leader.
Ho-Oh.
Ho-Ho. Alright.
It's
I
Ho-Oh.
forget Ho-Ho's the one who resurrected him.
Ho-Oh, not Ho-Ho.
Oh, Ho-Ho! There's a lot of great art for Suicune.
Yep. Yeah, like, I have so many pet peeves about dragon fandom. Like,
that's like the whole argument: is a basilisk a snake or not?
It depends on the kind of depiction you're going for, because Harry Potter, it's not the first one that depicted the basilisk as a snake, but it's the most popular.
Yep.
Other depictions of the basilisk make it synonymous with cockatrice, and other depictions make it a, like, 8-legged lizard. Fun fact, the Dontorex is based on that depiction of the basilisk.
Really?
Yes.
Cool. Like, the way I always... I don't even know how to go about describing a basilisk. The way I've always seen them were long lizards. But, there's so many different kind of giant mythical snakes that Harry Potter basilisk could be, too.
Yeah, but, like, there are depictions of the basilisk as a giant snake. And the things that the basilisk in Harry Potter does, it's clearly a basilisk.
Yeah, definitely, with the whole killing with a glare.
Yeah, but I have seen a lot of like sources make basilisk and cockatrice synonymous, which is fair, but no.
Cockatrice is so different.
Yeah, but, like, for example, Flight Rising, cockatrice and basilisk are basically the same creature. They're draconic chickens, basically.
See, that's how I've always pictured the cockatrice.
Yeah, I mean, the cockatrice has never had a, like, it's always been either a serpentine or draconic bird. Usually a chicken.
This is the way I've always went with basilisk versus cockatrice. Cockatrice is more bird-like, basilisk is lizard-like.
Yeah. Let me go see if I can find that one image. Let's see. Yep, thank you, Google. I'm going to show you the image that just sets me off so completely. Nate might even know what it is, judging by that reaction. I hate this so much.
Oh.
Yeah.
This makes me angry.
Yeah. I hate this so fucking much. Also, why doesn't Quetzalcoatl have wings?
Apparently a person's an idiot, whoever made this.
Yeah. Why doesn't the cockatrice have a beak? Why is the Kirin not related to the lung? Why is the salamander the one with 8 legs when that should be the basilisk?
Why is this image?
Why is this image?
At least they got the lindworm right.
Yeah, like, that's another thing. Like, Dragon Cave does something really weird with lindworms, and that's make them have wings.
I've never seen them with wings.
Yeah, so let me go find a good example of a Dragon Cave lindworm, because, like, I don't mind it, but I wish that they would give more, like, freedom in what a lindworm is. Like, if you want to give it wings, sure, go ahead, but, like, don't make the artist give a design wings when it doesn't need wings, but it's still a lindworm.
What's an amphitry?
Amphiter, it's a winged snake, basically.
Oh, okay. So basically what Quetzalcoatl was supposed to be.
Yep. Let me find the lindworm example, and then I'll show you an amphiter example.
Did I actually pronounce Quetzalcoatl correctly for once?
Quetzalcoatl.
Fuck. Oh, that's cool.
Or you could go full Nawa with it and say Quetzalcoatl.
Nah.
Also, this image doesn't give any respect to winged Easterns, but to be fair, neither does Dragon Cave, because Dragon Cave calls this a Western.
Huh?
Yeah.
This game. This is that other collection game you're talking about, right?
Yes.
They call themselves Dragon Cave.
Yep.
They don't get the dragons correct, though.
It's because, like, it's not one single developer team. It's a bunch of artists that are from the community that just, like, submit dragon sprites, and that's fine. It's not a matter of getting the dragons right. It's a matter of letting the classifications be broad enough.
Okay. Okay, that image on top still gives me a headache looking at it.
Yes.
Because it's How the fuck is a cockatrice related to the wyvern?
Because it has 2 legs and 2 wings, I guess.
And what do the Fae have to do with dragons?
Because they have 4 legs and 2 wings.
Fairies are fairies and dragons are dragons.
Okay, but Fae dragons are a thing.
Oh, I know. And I don't think I can classify a sea serpent as a dragon at all. That's a giant snake.
Yeah. This is another lindworm example, but I fucking love that thing.
I like that one, though. That is gorgeous.
I'm looking for an avatar for you.
And salamanders, I don't consider salamanders dragons either. They're mythical fire like spirits, I thought.
Yeah, they're also amphibians.
That too.
Although I am actually in the camp of dragons are not reptiles.
I would say reptile adjacent.
Reptile adjacent, sure.
They can survive.
But like,
they can survive in cold.
But also, like, 1, they're warm-blooded, and 2, if you look at how dragon scales are usually depicted, they are not at all like reptile scales. They're closer to feathers.
No, they're not. Uh-huh. That's what I was about to say there. I would say your dragon is more related to a bird than a lizard.
Yeah, but they're not either one. Like, I have an entire in-universe dragon textbook that I'm working on, and it goes out of its way to say dragons are not reptiles. Why can I not find a good avatar?
Try to get that published. I'm going to be dead serious. You should try to get that published. Bring back dragonology.
It has too much context from the world that it's for.
Oh, okay. And I'm just a little angry. Aztec Feather Serpent God is on there when it's technically neither dragon nor.
Okay, so Quetzalcoatl is what is usually known as a coatl, which is a feathered amphitheater, which is a dragon.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure Nate would know the answer to this. Can't Quetzalcoatl take different forms?
Yeah.
Thought so.
Yeah.
Also, I can't find a good one right now, so I'm just going to show you the zombie version of the amphitheater.
That's a thing we don't have a lot of. We need more zombie dragons in mythology.
Yeah.
I remember my favorite. This is the most memorable point of Skyrim for me. Doing the stupid college build quest line, going into Labyrinthian, and then there's that giant skeleton dragon. It was the most memorable moment in Skyrim for me. Then become part of the giant space program. Okay. Before we go off on any crazy tangents, we're over 2 hours, and I'm going to wrap up my end of the video before we get too heated of dragon debate.
I'm gonna continue talking about dragons, though.
That's okay. But I'm going to be wrapping up my side of the podcast.
Well, I mean, I'm also going to do that, but I'm just going to keep talking about dragons.
So we're going to go off screen and bitch about people who don't know dragon etymology, I guess you could say this.
Morphology is the correct word.
Morphology, okay. These are the things that you miss when we stop recording.
Yep.
Yep.
How many times have we said we have more interesting conversations after the camera stops rolling?
A lot. It's because we don't have to filter ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. We one of these days we just gotta we shut off the video recording and just keep an audio recording going.
Yeah.
And decide what we do with it. Either way, this is starting to turn into the longest podcast, and my computer will cry when it has to upload this. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, share it around. It helps us all grow as channels. Be sure to go check out all the descriptions down below. Play Sardonyx and Protochroma. That is very important. And be sure to check out the Ragnarok Ravens site.
You didn't link it in the last one, I think.
You're right, I didn't because I completely forgot.
Damn Phoenix.
Don't worry, I'll update all the link. I'll update everything.
Okay.
But be sure to check all that stuff out. It's all important. And with that said, this has been Black Phoenix and everyone.
Yep.
Everyone.
Yep. Kieran's aren't dragons. Bye.